Good to see everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, we made it to Tuesday, but also the beginning of a new month, so welcome to February as well. And of course, you have your news headlines coming up on this Tuesday. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich in today's Entertainment Spotlight, being part of my conversation with Joseph Thomas Jr. Enjoy today's program. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Tuesday headlines. In national news, Russia and U.S. exchange harsh words over Ukraine at UN. Russia accused the West on Monday of whipping up tensions over Ukraine and said the U.S. had brought pure Nazis to power in Kiev as the UN Security Council held a stormy and bellicose debate on Moscow's troop buildup near its southern neighbor. The U.S. Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield shot back that Russia's growing military force of more than 100,000 troops along Ukraine's borders was the largest mobilization in Europe in decades, adding that there has been a spike in cyber attacks and Russian disinformation, and they are attempting, without any factual basis, to paint Ukraine and Western countries as the aggressors to fabricate a pretext for attacks, she said. The harsh exchanges in the Security Council came as Moscow lost an attempt to block the meeting and reflected the gulf between the two nuclear powers. It was the first open session where all protagonists in the Ukraine crisis spoke publicly, even though the UN's most powerful body took no action. Although more high-level diplomacy is expected this week, talks between the U.S. and Russia have so far failed to ease tensions in the crisis, with the West saying Moscow is preparing for an invasion. Russia denies it is planning an attack. It demands pledges that Ukraine would never join NATO, a halt to the deployment of NATO weapons near Russian borders, and a rollback of the alliance's forces from Eastern Europe. NATO and the U.S. call those non-starters. The Russian ambassador accused the Biden administration of whipping up tensions in rhetoric and provoking escalation. "You are almost pulling for this," he said, looking at Thomas Greenfield. "You want it to happen. You're waiting for it to happen, as if you want to make your words become a reality." He blamed the U.S. for the 2014 ouster of a Kremlin-friendly president, saying it brought to power nationalists, radicals, and pure Nazis, and created the antagonism that exists between Ukraine and Russia. The vote on holding an open meeting passed 10-2, with Russia and China opposed, and India and Kenya abstaining. 9 yes votes were needed for the meeting to go ahead. In more national news, Omicron drives U.S. deaths higher than in fall's Delta wave. Omicron, the highly contagious coronavirus variant sweeping across the country, is driving the daily American death toll higher than during last fall's Delta wave, with deaths likely to keep rising for days or even weeks, says the Associated Press. The 7-day rolling average for daily new COVID-19 deaths in the U.S. has been climbing since mid-November, reaching 2,267 on last Thursday and surpassing its September peak of 2,100 when Delta was the dominant variant. Now Omicron is estimated to account for nearly all the virus circulating in the nation, and even though it causes less severe disease for most people, the fact that it is more transmissible means more people are falling ill and dying. More Americans are taking precautionary measures against the virus than before the Omicron surge, according to an AP-NORC poll this week. But many people fatigued by crisis are returning to some level of normalcy with hopes that vaccinations or prior infections will protect them. In more national news, Biden issues an infrastructure roadmap to help spend $1 trillion. President Joe Biden urged U.S. governors on Monday to ramp up their construction plans as his administration rolled out a guidebook for accessing the nearly $1 trillion made available by the bipartisan infrastructure deal. Biden welcomed governors to the White House on Monday as part of the winter meeting of the National Governors Association, and he cajoled them of the importance of infrastructure. "You know how to build roads and bridges," the president told them. "Well, we got a lot of them to build." After the meeting, a pair of governors described infrastructure as a place for bipartisan cooperation and stressed that it was more important for states to be able to spend money as they see fit. In entertainment news, Rihanna is pregnant debuts bump on stroll with A$AP Rocky. Rihanna and A$AP Rocky took an epic stroll over the weekend in snowy New York to reveal she's pregnant with her first child. Despite the frigid temperatures, the 33-year-old diamond singer and fashion mogul showed off her bump in a long open pink coat and ripped jeans as her boyfriend beamed by her side in Harlem, which is A$AP's home neighborhood. In one photo, the two hold hands with smiles on their faces. In another, he kisses her forehead. Her bump was well adorned with a long jewel necklace. And finally, in a message from WYAD management, a friendly reminder that today is election day for the city of Yazoo. Chapel Hill will offer rides for anyone that needs a ride to the polls. Contact Floyd Jackson at 662-763-4646. That's 662-763-4646. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, take it away.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Like is always drawn to like. This is one of God's biggest truths. It has been around since the beginning of time. You attract what you are. When you project positivity into your world, you attract positive people and situations into your life. If you want to attract love into your life, show love to yourself as you share kindness with others. People who see these characteristics in you will be drawn to you because they subconsciously see themselves in you. As you become acquainted with these people, they will have an important impact on your life. Others will know they can rely on you to add brightness to their lives. They will be compelled to seek you out because they understand the light they see in you is also in them. Today, express to yourself all the good you wish to attract from others. And as always, enjoy the day.
Joseph Thomas Jr. of Yazoo City is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight, working on Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Mr. Joseph Thomas Jr. joined me recently on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about why he was running for mayor of Yazoo City and what he wanted the people of Yazoo City to know. Here's a bit of our conversation.
Let's go ahead and start with the big headline. Joseph Thomas Jr. for mayor of Yazoo City. What made you decide, Mr. Thomas, that you wanted to run for mayor for 2022?
In 2018, after I made the runoff from the last election, and I lost by 109 votes, I knew then that 4 years later that I was going to run for this opportunity in 4 years, And I stayed active in the community and wanted to build a better mousetrap. I didn't want to just sit around on the sidelines and wait for 4 years. I wanted to earn people's vote. And they see me out there, and I'm steady working. Even though I wasn't successful, I still wanted to be significant.
That is one thing that is different, right? Because I have seen myself, and I'm sure our audience has as well, when some individuals run for public office, they do not win. They normally do kind of fade into the background, right? What made you want to stay active in Yazoo City and not only being visible, but also being engaged?
Besides, it's just in me. I just love serving my community. If I can help someone along the way, then, it's just a feeling you can't explain. Even with the radio station, I've been in other businesses, and I knew how important advertising was, and I knew that advertisement would be out-marketed. I couldn't afford the advertising, even though I needed the services. And now I have the opportunity to help somebody else with something that I didn't have a chance with.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversation Daily News. Perhaps you guys on tomorrow with more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host Cyrus Webb saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversation Daily News today. Let's make it a great one.